Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is another video on a beautiful motorcycle that I've been driving, or rather riding, for the last 2 or 3 days now. And I'm sure if you're following me on social media, you would know what that motorcycle is. That is the beautiful Triumph Speedmaster, which is a beautiful 1200cc machine which I've been riding for a better part of almost 3 days now. It is time to give the motorcycle back, but I thought I would make a small vlog telling you guys about the different features of the motorcycle and probably just making you hear the beautiful rumble of the 1200cc parallel twin motor that the motorcycle has. So let's start. So this is the motorcycle that I'm talking about, that I've been riding for the past 3 days. This is the Triumph Speedmaster, which is of course a family member of the famed Bonneville. As you can see here, it's written Bonneville Speedmaster. That's because this probably completes the entire Bonneville range of motorcycles that Triumph sells or has in production right now. So the legacy continues with the Speedmaster. This is essentially a 1200cc parallel twin engine. That is the Bonneville 1200, as you can see, and the HT, which you see here, stands for high torque. So this thing develops about 77 PS of power and 106 Nm of torque, which is a lot, trust me. What happens is, any gear, any speed you are at, you just give throttle and the bike just goes. As you can probably see in these video clips that I'm sharing with you right now of riding the Bonneville, this thing just goes. And the seating posture is really nice. The seats are really comfortable. And to the beautiful seat that this has, it also has a pillion seat, which is perfectly comfortable for pillion of decent sizes. I wouldn't really recommend it to somebody who is really tall or really heavy, because the seat is a little bit on the smaller side, but overall the seats are really comfortable. The riding position is really nice. So starting with how the motorcycle looks, the headlight is really nice with the T logo right in there between. That's a nice design element that Triumph has on its motorcycles. The fork gaiters look nice. It has a beautiful thick front suspension, which is really good, which soaks in the bumps really well. Overall, I think the proportion is really good of the motorcycle. If you look at it from the side view, it does give a very nice image of a true blue cruiser motorcycle, So moving on to the side, the fuel tank is really nice, although it is unfortunately only 13 liters, but overall I've been getting about 18 to 19 kilometers per liter, which means it has a decent range. I wouldn't really call it mile puncher as such, but with decent range you can actually cruise down pretty far. If you are light on the throttle. The handlebar is nice and wide, which means you have a very commanding sort of a seating position. Very wide handlebars. You almost sit on top of the motorcycle, like is generally the case on any cruiser. And it has a single pod instrument console like the Bonneville series. I'll just switch it on and show it to you. So there you go, with the self check and everything. And it has got a beautiful analog speedometer, which is marked at 200 kilometers an hour, and it has got a small LCD screen which you can cycle through by pressing this button here, this I button, which denotes information. So you press this and you cycle through different information that the motorcycle has. Trip 1, trip 2, 100 kilometers, how many liters does it consume per 100 kilometers, it shows here. And distance to empty, of course, is right now blank because of obvious reasons. So this is the RPM, and this is the traction control off and on. So essentially all the information that you would ever need is visible right on this small pod, which might look small, but it has got all the information that you need when you are riding the motorcycle. Moving on to the seat, the rider seat is really comfortable. The seat is not really much plushy, as in, even if you ride for long distances, I don't suppose you would get a sore arse, so to speak. There is the T logo here, which denotes Triumph, of course. There is also a pillion seat, like I mentioned, backrest for the pillion. And of course there is yet another T here, which denotes Triumph's own logo. And completing the look is the LED backlight, LED brake light, which looks really nice with these LED side indicators. So yeah, that's how the bike essentially looks, with small details like Triumph mentioned here, and this beautiful single pod instrument console. This front brake fluid reservoir is really nice as well. The mirrors are really good and round, which gives decently good view of what's behind you. And overall, I think the bike looks really nice, and the DRLs look absolutely stunning. Especially when somebody looks at you from the rear view mirror, I'm sure they would understand that it's something special which is behind you. And there are of course twin exhaust pipes here, which goes right from here. This is a twin cylinder motorcycle, so of course there is twin pipes, and all leg guard is there as well, which if you look from afar kind of gives you an idea of a 4-cylinder motorcycle. But of course this is not a 4-cylinder motorcycle, this is a twin. So this thing is very, very stylish. The overall proportion of the motorcycle is really nice. The overall style of the motorcycle is really nice. It's an FI engine of course, but this looks like a carburetor, which is a false carburetor. This is a design element, and the engine, the entire design of the motorcycle is really nice. The attention to details, I think I am in complete love with. That is the rear monoshock, which you can see right there. And it is a huge motorcycle, it is a large motorcycle, don't get me wrong. It is heavy as well at 260 kgs, which is heavy. So that is something which you need to take care of. It does feel a little heavy while you take it off the side stand, but once you are up and moving at 20 kilometers per hour, it does feel a lot nimble. Of course, it is not your sports bike, it is not your super bike that you can, ride through traffic, zigzag your way through traffic. But even then, at 260 kilos and a lot longer than any conventional sort of a sports bike, because this is a tourer, of course, it is supposed to have a longer wheelbase. One thing which I really am not a big fan about is the low ground clearance, which means every other speed bump which you go across, you have to be really, really slow. Even then, it catches the underbelly and it scrapes the underbelly, which is a little bit of a pain when you hear that scratching sound. Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster is shot with beautiful 120 section Avon tires in the front and a 150 section tire at the rear, which gives it enough grip, so to speak. Of course, this has dual channel ABS and everything, so it has got a disc at the back and of course dual discs at the front as well. So overall, I think the bike is really nice. So overall, I think if you look at the bike, it looks really nice, it feels really nice, and the riding posture, because of those handlebars, those wide handlebars, is something which I really personally dig. I am not that big fan of cruiser motorcycles, but the Speedmaster is something which I've been really enjoying. I did not really think that I would enjoy this motorcycle this much, but things change, your opinions change once you actually get onto a motorcycle and start riding. Coming to how the motorcycle rides, the engine is 1200cc, of course, like I've already shown you. 1200cc parallel twin, which develops 106 Nm of torque. Now that torque is huge. I generally am in third or fourth gear doing 40 kmph, and if I think I need to speed up a little bit, all I need to do is throttle up, and the bike never complains. It just goes, which talks about how awesome the engine is, how rideable the engine is, how really nice, tractable the entire mill is. It's a big 1200cc behemoth. It's almost like a locomotive. It feels like a train is pulling once you throttle up. So yeah, that's the Speedmaster Bonneville. One thing which I really do not appreciate much, although I don't know whether that's with all the cruisers, is that of course it locks through here. So this is the lock. That is where the lock is, and this is where the ignition is. What happens is essentially this key itself gets really, really hot because of course our temperature, and of course the engine produces a lot more heat. So that key itself gets hot, which makes it a little bit of a pain once you lock the bike and want to keep it in the pocket of your jeans or your shirt or anywhere you want to keep it at. The clutch lever is, of course, you can set the clutch lever according to your needs. And so is the brake lever, which is a very, very nice touch. This has got really nice feel to it as well. The quality overall feels fantastic. This is of course the engine kill switch and the engine on switch, and you just hold this down to actually start the engine, which is very typical of Triumph. This of course is the mode switch right here. Change between road and rain mode. There are two modes on this motorcycle, road and rain. You press this once to get to road mode, you press this again to get into rain mode. On this side you have the information display, which I just showed, which I just told you about. The information changes all the information out here in the display. This is to change between low beam and high beam. And this has got a cruise control as well, which is a very nice thing, especially on the highways. You ride it at a certain speed, say 80 kilometers per hour. You press this once and the cruise control switches on, and then you can just leave the throttle handlebar and just cruise along. Although I don't really recommend leaving the handlebar, you know, and riding it without holding it. But then again, the cruise control is really handy, especially on the highways. I can see it doing really good on the highways. This is of course the indicator, and that's the horn. So that completes the switchgear element of the Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster. Now let me give you the sound of the exhaust, you know, how the motorcycle actually sounds. Enough of talking, and let's just hear the motorcycle for once, and then probably we'll end the video, because I want to keep it very short. So essentially you just switch on the key from here, and it does a self check. You hold the clutch in and then you start. I'll just show you how it's done. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, and I just wanted to keep it short and brief overview of the Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster. I've been enjoying the bike for the last 2 days over the weekend, and I think the bike has been enjoying my company as well. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because there is a lot more content coming up regarding motorcycles, regarding automotive, and regarding a lot of travel that's gonna happen really soon. Have a great day ahead, and keep riding and be safe. Bye-bye.